Hey again, folks, this is Colonial. Should be episode 9. And, we're still on the back foot here, but it's not actually looking that bad. Let's take a look. Alright. So, of my core lands, I basically hold all of them at this stage. It's probably not going to last, but for now, I hold all my core lands, and I'm beginning to push into traditionally Berytos' lands. I'm not fighting back for Ulm's lands because there's this nasty bugger in the way, and all my forces are over on this side of the map. The problem with going for Berytos' lands over Ulm's lands is I've site-searched Ulm's lands for air. I haven't site-searched Berytos' lands for air. And judging by the two of them I hold now, there's no clear sign that he has been doing much air searching. So that's a shame, and I would like to go after Ulm's lands for that account. But my armies are where they are, and it's not like I'm going to get this moment to press my advantage very often, so I'm going to take it and push this way. I've got little clumps of infantry attacking there and there. I've got one of my two what passes for armies attacking there. I've got a geared king attacking there, and I've got this geared king attacking there, although he has no reason to be cloud trapezing. I haven't turned in the turn yet, which I often like to do if I can, because it reminds me of these little things. There you go. Saving me penny pinching on the air gems. But yeah. So that's really, well, that's not quite all of my attack. So the big things this turn is I finally, well, last turn I didn't have enough gold to afford a king. This turn I do. So I only missed half a king's worth of recruiting. But what did happen was he's back to these stupid arrows from the sky, and one arrow from the sky killed a king, which is, so this little foray into his territory, I think I got rid of 2 priests all told, but I did lose a king, but it was a king I might have already lost anyway. He was busy flying over this way to try and free this castle, which is now lost. The other king has fallen back into my territory. He's there, he's good to go, and he is trying to grab a cheeky siege on this fortress here. There's another thing, so I lost that king to a seeking arrow. When my god comes out, I might send him to grab some pendants of luck. I think I should have been giving all my kings pendants of luck. I think that was an error this game. I might have him do that, but he has other things to do as well, so we shall see. The other problem this turn is that this cheeky bugger dropped 2 globals. Now, Vengeful Water I've actually never seen in play before. It's not a common global at all. It means that when I have troops in his territory, they get attacked by small water elementals, basically. Earthblood Deepwell, of course, is a powerful global. I think that's 20 Earth Gems a turn. That's a problem, and there's nothing I can do about it for sure. I doubt there's much Mictlan can do about it either. Vengeful Water is more novelty than a terror, but Earthblood Deepwell is a problem. If I still had my Maelstrom, we would be balanced. My biggest mistake this game, no doubt, losing that Maelstrom. So yeah, now he has the powerful global. I don't. But yeah, the other thing this turn is I'm launching a breakout attempt. Basically, it's just going to be 2 kings and Mr. Soulrend, and a pile of chaff infantry. There's no way I can actually show you just the army that's attacking, so we're going to have to look at this piecemeal. First of all, we've got this guy. He has earth boots and a water bottle, and he is going to be casting Rain of Stones twice. Now, the idea is, I know my enemy drops Fog Warriors turn 1. If I cast Rain of Stones twice, I hopefully will pop a lot of mist forms of a lot of his chaffy infantry. And then my other guy, he drops Storm Wrathful Skies. So the idea, the hope is that I pop like a third to half of all of his mist forms with a pile of earthquakes, and then when the mist forms are down, I start killing things with Wrathful Skies. It's possible I could make him run away with this strategy. I would love that. I would be a super happy Colonial. It's not that likely, but it's not outside the realm of the possible. And at this stage in the game, I'll take what I can get. So that's the plan. I have 30 Amazons to soak up damage in the front. All these guys are sitting in the back. I'm like, well, these guys, both of them have a strategy that involves going in, dropping massive spells, and retreating. Both my kings are going to be out as soon as they build up the... or they wake up again after passing out from their crazy spells. But I'd like something on the battlefield that has some tenacity. So luckily I had Captain Stormrend here, Soulrend, and he is, as you may remember, an immortal. He's in my dominion, so no matter what happens, he's not going to die. So he's going to be in charge of surviving, sitting on the battlefield, and keeping the battle going longer. The longer the battle goes, the longer Wrathful Skies has to do its work. So he's going to invulnerabilize himself, and then he's going to just skelly spam. And he has 4 death, so each casting of Horde of Skeletons is using up 10 fatigue. So he can be doing that for a while. That'll provide some longevity to my plan. So this is a very surgical incision I'm making against his main army here, and I'm hoping for a retreat. A retreat would make me very happy. Then I would really be pressing my advantage. Then I would start sending kings into Almish territory, blah blah blah. Of course, if this plan doesn't go off, I still hope that I won't lose my kings. I have plenty of defenses around. I have a front glob of troops to catch all of his evocations. I have a bunch of troops huddled around the kings to worry about his flankers or whatever, and then the kings are set to retreat as soon as they can. So I'm hoping I won't lose the kings. I know I won't lose Soulrend because he's immortal, and we'll see how it goes down. It's only costing me 8 gems, unless if I lose kings, then it's of course costing me kings. But if I could break his army, I would be super happy. In the meantime, he seems to still be attacking me with scouts, even though he does not know my economy. It might be that I have 0 money, in which case the scout attacks would make sense. But I don't have 0 money. I have a trickle of money, so I can afford basic province defense. So hopefully he'll give up on the scout attacks. I noticed that he's not really sending any more Zots my way. Zots that fly at Caelum have been dying, and you may notice that Mictlan has a lot of Zots giving him trouble. Okay, so the way it works when there's 2 of you against a more powerful foe, he basically shifts his focus from one of you to the other, and you build up, build up, build up until he focuses on you, and then you break down, break down, break down, break down. So right now he's clearly focused on Mictlan. Mictlan has 2 sieged forts, 1 big-ass pile of annoying-ass Zots in the middle of him. So the thought is, I might get a couple more turns where he really beats on Mictlan until I become too much of a threat that he can't finish off Mictlan. So I, of course, need to be pushing all the time. I am pushing towards this throne. Thrones are important. If I got that throne, he would probably have to full court press me. So that might be the longer term plan, is in the next 3 or 4 turns. I'm now a bit more optimistic that I can die hard pretty well. But we'll see how it goes next turn. If I can pop this, then I might have a good long die hard ahead. So you'll get some good viewing, viewers, and, you know, you'll get it later because the game will take longer to end. But that's how it is. So I'm in a tentatively optimistic mood. He seems to be spending a lot more attention on Mictlan, but even then, Mictlan is not as battered as I was on the first turn of the war. Mictlan is okay, and he could easily last a few more turns before he really needs me to start taking the heat again. Of course, Berytos, what he wants to do now is eradicate Mictlan before I turn the heat up so high that he needs to focus back on me. And what I need to do is get the focus back to me before Mictlan's eradicated. And, yeah, that's how it is. Oh, let's take a look at the graphs. The graphs aren't super important anymore because it's a 3-way war. But province-wise, he has more than the 2 of us combined. Forts-wise, we have more than him. Us 2 combined is much more than him. Income, he has much more than the 2 of us combined. Gem income, same, because he just got, well, Oh, we've just stolen a lot of gem income from him, and he just put up the global. Research, of course, he's ridiculous, and combining our research is a pointless exercise because each person's research is their own. So he's just researching way ahead of us. Yeah. So the graphs aren't looking that great, but I'm, yeah, tentatively optimistic. See you guys next time.
Alright, so I, Colonial, have a problem with my dominions, which you may have gotten wise to already, which is that I stale more than I ought to. I staled this turn, I played the next turn, and I staled the turn after. Now, hopefully this will just be those 2 turns. I'll get a handle on things. It's a new computer, the recording's giving me trouble, but even when I'm not recording, I just stale. So this turn I missed the turn, and let's see how it played out. This battle, it looks like I won it, but actually, he more or less seems to have pulled out. I don't know what happened to his giant beasts. He seems to have split the army the exact turn I attacked it. But I did win against his token defense, so let's look at that. What is this place called? Erebon. I won't show you the turn, mostly because I staled, but I'll show you this. I spent way more gems than I needed to because I'm just fighting a token resistance. I spent more Zons as well. It's not a token, I mean that's some guys, but that's just cheap archers. These guys are worth something. The mages, of course, he even has one of these giant queens of whatever. These are blood slaves, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, this is not worth the gems I'm throwing into it. I don't lose either king, so that's a plus. He's dropping hell power, look at that. I don't remember if oh, look at that, there goes his, oh no, the giant's alive. Giant got away, damn. Okay, but I killed a fair few priests right there. I appear to be missing. Alright, the rest is history. I took out a few mages. So that's more or less how that battle went out. Of course, this turn I staled. Now, it looks like he's putting all his attention onto Mictlan at the moment, which is when I really need to be acting to push into him, as I mentioned earlier. But instead, I'm staling. So, let's see. I'll jump quickly now to the actual turn. Alright, so my recording messed up a bit for this turn, so I've come back, and I will look at it again for you. If you remember, last turn I staled, next turn I'm going to stale. So, this turn is just a wee regrouping, or whatever. I'm trying to conquer the lands. Now, I realized that while I was staling, I believe Berytos was actually also staling at least once. So that makes my staling a lot less of a problem. But it's still there. I am staling. I wish I hadn't, because this is really when I need to be pushing into Berytos. I would love to have conquered all of this lands and be pushing into Ulm by the time the staling ends. But I do have 7 kings in this round, and 4 of them are geared, which is pretty much the best king outlay to date during this war, possibly so far in the game. So let's take a look. Here's a geared king. He is... I'm really trying to push into this little triangle of land right here. Boom, 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 all of this stuff. I would love to get it so that I have a contiguous land empire that spans the globe. If I conquer this, that should be enough to do that. But yeah, I'm going to basically conquer all the way down to this castle and then jump into Berytos' lands as a plan. So I have quite a few kings, geared kings active there. That's one. That's another. And this guy's coming home to be fired out of the Cloud Trapeze cannon, actually. Oh yeah, I'm pulling back. So, I know I said that this Vengeful Water isn't a big deal, but it's actually kind of a nuisance. It's been killing some of my battle mages here, so I'm pulling them back. So I'm just going to have a blob of chaff instead of an army right here. And this, my second army, wherever it may be, here it is. I'm going to try and keep that one out of his territory because it is... the Vengeful Water is pretty effective against battle mages. Yeah, I'm of course Cloud Trapezing kings onto whatever's still kicking around in my territory. And if 3 turns in a row were like this one, I would be in a much better position, but I only get this one because on either side of it I stale. Let's see, this guy is, I believe... There you go, on fence. He's jumping this big pile of Zots. Now, Zots, of course, are tiny little creatures, but whenever there's a big pile of Zots like that, you know they have a few sheds with them, which are his national demons. So I'd love to kill a few of those. They cost blood slaves. Shall I do a quick rundown of the kings? We've seen that one. I think we've seen that one. Here's an ungeared king. What's he up to? He's, oh, he's walking with this army. This king is also falling back to be Cloud Trapezed. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have one more king. Oh yes, I believe I still have this guy here. Yep. So yeah, his army seems to have disappeared. I didn't actually defeat it. I'm pretty sure he somehow is at least trying to move it over to deal with Mictlan, which is good for me. Can't complain. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I should have been going for alms lands, because on the one hand, I've already site searched them for air, and on the other hand, they don't have this annoying vengeful water. But I'm already entrenched in this region, so I'm just going to grab the whole region. It looks like it's pretty close to being in fact, if I hadn't staled again, next turn I could finish it off. But I can't, so I'll just quickly show you the stale, and then we'll go on to the next proper turn. See you guys in a second. Alright, not a perfect turn by any means. I lost one king. This one. Look at that. I think I've also lost a wall shaker over the course of events. But I do, for the first time in the game, have a contiguous land empire stretching around the world. Sun never sets on the Caelian Empire. Look at that, guys. So this turn, of course, I dicked around and did nothing. And I wish I hadn't. But there you go. I think, let's look at this. Oh no, it's good. The one turn I didn't stale happens to be the turn for recruiting a new king, so my king production didn't suffer at all. But, you know, I would have more land now if I hadn't been an idiot. Alright, so that brings us up to date. So I will go into a bit more depth next turn, hopefully. See you guys in a second. Oh, excuse me. Hey again. So, I'm done staling now. I won't be staling anymore. And I actually think I might be beginning to turn it around. Basically, the way it seems to have gone is he's been completely leaving me alone during this, my staling period. And he doesn't really have any forces in my territory, so I can just start flying my kings around, grabbing up the empty provinces. And by next turn, I should control every province in my original territory and this little triangle over here, with the exception of that province, which is very good. And it means that the game is turning around. But the situation is this. I play my turn, then I send it in, then when I get around to it I record, and often the turn processes in the meantime. And basically the turn's processed, and I happened to check the forums, our forum thread about this game, and it looks like we're 2 turns till the end of the game here. Which is a real shame, because like I said, I'm beginning to pull things together. I got hit with something this turn, all of this stuff here. If you look at these mages who are dying, and basically what happened is Berytos pushed his dominion up into this province here, which was a core research province. I lost 5 mages, I probably lost a fair bit of gear, research gear as well. So I'm running away with all of them, and the way I'm countering this is I'm beginning to grab 3 batches. Everywhere I can, I have enough gold, I can produce a bunch of Seraphines. So I'm getting 4 each turn. And they're Holy 2 Priest, but they also fly and they're stealthy. So these guys are going to be my counterattack to his Vengeful Waters. I'm not going to deal with the global. The Vengeful Waters is this here, global enchantment. So I'm not going to try and tear down the global, try and kill the guy who put it up. I'm just going to fight his dominion back with my strong priests. So if the game continues, you will get to see some priest action, which is pretty fun. Have a look at this. This is the graph of dominion. The white is mine, and the black in the south is his. And I actually control all the provinces out to here and here and here. But I only control dominion out to here, including this fort and temple, which is under his dominion. So when I get a priest batch coming, we might start looking at this map a bit more. But we might not, because the game might be about to end. But yeah, my kings are all busy. I have 7 kings. I think 4 of them are geared. and they are pretty much my only offensive push at this stage. They're conquering back all these provinces. I'm leaving the Amazons here because the vengeful water doesn't really affect troops. I'm leaving them with a bunch of generals so that they can get moved around, but all my mages here are on the run back to this fort over here. And I think the game is in a pretty good state. Here's the thing, is that I figured, alright, well, he's been ignoring me while I've been staling, but he's probably beating on Mictlan. But look at this. Mictlan is pushed forward into his territory all the way up to here. Now, what I hadn't realized when I played this turn is that this might become a bit of a problem right here. But otherwise, Mictlan is doing very well. And we can, if I conquer all this purple stuff around here, we can get back-to-back sort of thing, and I'll only need to worry about fighting south, he'll only need to worry about fighting north. If this game continues, we are in a very strong position, I reckon. But, you know, I always say that. And this time, instead of, you know, oh no, blow, I'm back to being weak, it's actually going to be the end of the game, probably. But we'll see how it goes. Alright, I'll show you the other turn, just a second. Alright, so this is what I'm saying. Look at this. Yeah, I haven't seen this much of a sea of blue since the war with Berytos began. That, and it's never gotten that far south, ever. But, yeah. I'm pretty sure this is, in fact, sadly, going to be the last turn. If you look at this, that is a throne that is now held by Berytos. It might be 2 turns until he can actually claim the throne, but I doubt it. I bet he has an H3 in the army there, and he's going to grab it just now. He already owns that throne there, and this one down here. And sadly, I own this throne, and there's going to be no chance of him ever laying hands on this throne in the middle of my territory, but it's not enough because Mictlan didn't hang on to his, so it looks like the game is over. I could try and send him there, but it's not going to do anything. I think I will. I'm going to throw everything I can at this throne, because if for whatever reason it takes him 2 or 3 turns to claim that throne, I could maybe tear down the walls over here and claim that throne, but it's not very likely. But I guess I will do that. I guess I'll play out the turn as well, because, you know, for whatever reason it might not be over, but it looks like it is. I think what I will do is hit the Ulmish lands pretty hard this turn. Something like this. That's a lot of geared SCs, man. Thugs, I guess, it's not yet SCs. And they never will get to be. Poor guys, because the game is, I think, over. Yeah, it's a shame, too, because I had quite a few plans about coming up. If you look at this, I have a huge death gem pile. And I was thinking, he has Earthblow Deepwell, I may as well cast what you get at Construction 8, which is Well of Misery. I have a Death 5 caster. It would take me 2 turns to get at it, basically, but that is very much a possibility. I should probably go ahead and grab the thing I need now. Let's see. Oh, yes. They've all run away. So him plus one of these. What a shame. It's just starting to get good. If I had the Well of Misery up, I could start really hitting the evil summons. Could have been a lot of fun to have a look at them. I don't really know exactly what I could have gotten out of them. I would have had to have studied. Need that. Aye. That's the problem, isn't it? Although, by the time it researches, I might have enough to cast it. I might even... I mean, I could alchemize. I won't have to now, I don't think. Yeah. Let's see, how many kings do I have? Alright, I'll play the turn and come back to you in a minute. Alright, so I'm just basically pressing my advantage here. I'm pushing into Ulmish lands now. 6 kings are entering this region over here. And if the game carries on, it shouldn't be too long before they're all piled on top of Ulm's capital, probably, with all the land held by me. I'm gonna really start needing some stuff to deal with breaking down city walls here. This guy's gonna have a lot of trouble breaking through there, and I don't have the Earth 3 mage I need to grab wall shakers, and I can't really afford. To grab gate cleavers, and I can't really afford wall shakers. But when my king comes out, I will have that. Now, next turn's probably the last turn of the game, and what I really would like is to have my god out by then. So pretty much every H2 I have is calling god at the minute, except him. I'll have him call god, why not? And yeah, if I'm pushing a bit into Elm's territory and my god is out, then good for him for winning. I don't really mind that much. There's not that much to see here. One thing that's a bit fun is I didn't have enough gear, so this guy's geared wackily. Let's look at what he's up to. He is carrying 2 frost brands and a bottle of water, because I have a lot of water gems, and that's just to guard him if anyone gets to the back row, but mainly he's going to drop 2 phantasmal armies and have a huge outpouring of 50 troops with, of course, 1 hit point, but that should be enough to clear away the chaff. So we'll see how that goes down. It won this turn, no sweat. Actually, we can watch that, can't we? Let's see. Millgate 86. There we go. So yeah, I reckon this might be the last time we watch a battle. But it should be fun. There you go, the Zots come out, so it's good he has the Frost Brands and the Water Elemental, isn't it? There's no one here, sadly, is it? He might... Oh no, he's using air gems. Look at that. Cost 1 air gem. Kings are really powerful. There's a lot of things I would do differently, but I think one thing would be that I would be using Phantasmal Warriors more. It's a pretty good spell. Look at how I basically have an army now, and I didn't before I Cloud Trapezed in. So that's kind of sweet. I bet it'll work again, even with a slightly higher force over here. And otherwise, it's bog standard on the kings, I'm afraid. This one isn't even a king. This one used to have a king with it, but he's dead now. This is just the tattered remains. Oh damn, that's really not enough to take out a castle, is it? Oh well, I think the game's over, you guys. Yeah. See you. It'll all come together nicely. Next turn will be the last of the episode, and I believe it'll be the last of the game. See ya. Oh. Excuse me. Alright, it looks like the game is truly over. Look at this. A giant mummy, somehow, has claimed the throne of war for Lord Grimner, which means that Berytos has claimed his 3rd throne, and the game is up. Apparently Mictlan wished that he had named his guys. I kind of wish that I hadn't staled at the end. I kind of wish that I played a bit differently as well. But even there, if you look at it, I'm really starting to push into Ulm's lands. Of course, it's because Berytos has got all his attention on winning the game. But I'm not too happy with where it ended. I'm not too sad with where it ended up. I'm coming in 2nd place, I reckon, because I'm the only one who still has a throne. And I have how many kings did I have on at the end here? Let's see. What is this? Why can't I? Oh well. I think maybe... Yeah. The game is over, so I'm not actually allowed to move any of my pieces. Oh well, that's cool. Can I not even see my pieces? That's a bit of a shame. Alright, so how it's going to work now is I'm going to take another 20 minutes to half an hour, go over everything in the next episode. See what I did wrong, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, but I would say that that was a fairly successful game. I think it's very respectable for my first recorded game to come in 2nd place like that. Now, the actual recording, not necessarily the best. I'll get into it next episode. See you guys then.